Alright, these are X-Perms, the very last and final PLL set. There are 10 X-Perms, 4 of them are symmetric, and the other 6 have mirror cases. Obviously very challenging to recognize. I'm still struggling with these, like, they're just so hard. This is the easiest one to recognize, I think, so there is pseudo everywhere. Everything is a pseudo. This is like a last layer skip, but for pseudo. For this case, it doesn't matter how you hold it. And do this alg. For this next case, X2, it's symmetric. There will be a 2x2 pseudo block, and everything else is kind of messed up. Another way to see this is these two corners would be the same color, and also this edge will be the same color, so you have like a triangle shape here. And then in the back in between these, the 2x2 pseudo block will be right here. So for this one, you hold it just like this and do this alg. For X3, it is also symmetric. We have a 1x3 pseudo block, and everything else is messed up. So for the majority of X-Perms, I like to try and find a 1x3 pseudo block if it exists, and I kind of use it as my anchor point. So I turn it to where it's in front of me, and then I look all around the cube. So if I get this and everything's messed up, then I know it's X3, and you do a U2 prime and hold it like this and do this alg. For X4, this is one of the hardest PLLs to recognize, like ever. It's a symmetric case. There are no pseudo blocks anywhere, and the pattern you're looking for is the triangle shape here. So like these two match on the outsides, and they're the same color as this edge. So if you keep turning like around, sometimes there won't be any matches. Then other times there will be like kind of one here. This one's missing though. This one's missing. And then eventually you find this. So yeah, that's how it's recognized. Hold it like this and do this alg. At least the alg's nice. Alright, so those are all the symmetrical cases. So now on to X5 Plus. These are pretty challenging, kind of. So at first glance it kind of looks like there's pseudo all around the cube, but there are actually shapes to this. So basically these will look like J1s, but in pseudo. So X5 Plus has the shape of J1 minus. So here's a J block, and here's a J block. And then that 1x2 that doesn't really match with anybody is right here. And you're looking for that outlier 1x2, basically. So yeah, this goes back to what I said about X3, where I try to look for a 1x3, if it exists. So here we have a 1x3. I use that as my anchor point, and I look around, I try to scan real quick. I can see that these are J's, so I'm just looking for the 1x2. Basically face the 1x2 and do this alg. Alright, for X5 minus, it will look like a regular J perm, so J block, 1x2. Face the 1x2 like this, where it's vertical on the left side, and do this alg. Alright, for X6 plus, these will look like F1s. So if you remember, F1s are those algs that have a 1x3 and then like a T perm. These are just like that, but in pseudo. So we have a 1x3 pseudo block right here, and then two 1x2 pseudo blocks facing like that. So they look like a T perm. For this case, we'll hold it like this, looking at one of the 1x2s. And do this alg. Alright, for X6 minus, just the mirror case, so 1x3 pseudo block, and then the two 1x2 pseudo blocks are facing a T-perm, just on the left side instead of the right. And we'll hold it just like this, and do this alg. Alright, for X7 plus, this is another X-perm where it doesn't matter how you hold it. So this edge will basically be the same color as these outer corners, and it'll be like that on every turn. So these can definitely be tricky because at first you may think this is X4, so you may be doing turns trying to see like which side is matched like a triangle, but on X7s they'll never match like that. So yeah, pretty tricky. For this case, we'll do this alg. Alright, for the very last X-perm, X7 minus, it's just the mirror case of what we just saw, so this edge piece will match those two corners right here. And it'll be like that on every side. So we will do this alg. Alright, and that completes our PLL series. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this was helpful. And yeah, the playlist is fully complete now. So if you just look up Megaminx PLL Series, I think, my playlist will pop up. And yeah, if this was helpful, please support me by liking the videos and subscribing. And yeah, I might do OLLs next. It's definitely been a grind so far, learning them, so we'll see. But yeah, peace out, guys.